Hello and welcome back to another video on this channel. Today we have a brand new mini-series starting on the channel called The Best ? Because this is going to be a series where we specifically focus on certain players. We are going to test out those players, give you my opinion and review on those players after playing a certain number of games, and generally just have some fun. So today is obviously focused all around Zaha. I do have plans to do a lot of episodes of these with different types of players that fit the meta, players that don't. For example, I do want to do one on Aubameyang and also Zlatan Ibrahimovic, which should be a lot of fun. But I also want to do kind of episodes that are slightly less serious than just, player reviews. So maybe take Thiago Silva and throw him up at striker and just have some fun, really. Obviously, I do want this series to be informational. I want it to pass across some information. So if you're looking to buy a player or get a player for your team, then obviously there's a place to be. But I also want to have some fun with it as well, because that's what it's all about, just having fun on this channel. So with that said, we do love our stats on the exclusive channel. We do love our stats. So basically, how this is going to work is we're going to take a player like Zaha today, and we're going to play 5 games, record all of their stats, the player ratings at the end of the match, goals, assists, how many shots they took and how many were on target, how many passes they did and how many did they complete, if they get man of the match, that kind of stuff. And also I'm going to give my overall involvement rating, which is not just based on goals and assists and all that kind of stuff, it's how involved in the game were they, how much of a game changer was that player, and that's going to be out of 10. That's going to be my personal rating, so it's not anything that the game actually tells you, it's just what I felt from playing with that player. And then what we're going to do, obviously because it's called The Best, we're going to find out who is the best. So basically, out of all of those end game ratings, we're going to add them all up, find the average, and then that's going to be their rating. So if they get 7.7 out of every game, that's going to mean they're going to have 7.7. That's where they're going to be ranked on our leaderboards. Obviously, Zaha today is the only one, so he's at number 1 today. Right, with that said, we are going to go through some of the bad points. Obviously, you're going to see the gameplay in the background. I love Zaha. I've played with him on my road to glory. Obviously, in these games, just when I'm not recording, I've got my team. Zaha's obviously in it. I wanted Zaha from, even before the game was released. I kind of had a team in mind, and he was one of the players I really wanted. I love playing with Zaha. I think he's incredible. He's really skillful. He's quick. He's got good shooting for this point in the game. He's got good passing, good strength, all that kind of stuff. It's really, really good fun. In the way of bad points, because nobody likes bad stuff, but we're here for the good stuff. So bad points for Zaha. If you are looking to get him, for me, he did tend to come back a lot, especially on defending or on corners. He would come back really deep, and he wouldn't seem to be up there in the attack when you're trying to either counter. It would be your striker and whoever else, maybe who's got high attacking work rates. He didn't seem to be up there a lot. He seemed to be more kind of in the midfield, which I found a bit of an issue, because obviously when you're attacking, you want all of your front 3 up on the pitch, but he just didn't really seem to be anywhere to be found. He was reluctant to push forward, which was a bit of an issue, but ultimately at the end of the day, it probably won't make that much difference unless you're really heavily focused on counter-attacks. The other thing I found was that he did feel, even though he has got like 75 strength, he did feel quite easy to push off the ball against average defenders. He just seemed to get muscled off quite easily, but in certain situations he did, and then in some situations he would hold on to the ball quite well and wouldn't really get pushed off too much. So it's kind of a balancing act. It depends who you come up against. Obviously, high physical defenders probably going to push him off quite easily, but if they're lower end or they're low rated, they you probably just breeze past them. He did seem to have, I don't know exactly what, I think if I can bring it up, his stamina did seem to be a bit of an issue. He's got 75 stamina, which I found to drain him quite a lot in later parts of the match. In the beginning parts, He was quick, he was rapid, he was just, snappy. But in the later stages of the game, he seemed to die off quite a lot, and you wouldn't really see much from Zaha. Again, that may or may not have too much of an issue. Obviously, if you can just sub him off, then it's not too much of an issue. But I really didn't think it impacted it too much. He was still a major part of the game. He was a lot quicker than everybody else on the field, even though his stamina was pretty much drained. I do feel that's probably part because when playing these games, I did try and give the ball to Zaha, so he was running up and down a lot, and I feel like that probably drained his stamina considerably, so may or may not be an issue. It's just something to consider. He does have a slightly lower stamina than most people. And the other bad point, the last one today, is he does have quite poor links. Obviously, if you're building a full Premier League team, it won't be an issue. It's just not going to be an issue. But if you're trying to build a hybrid, he's obviously from the Ivory Coast and plays for Crystal Palace, so it's a bit tough. I'm not trying to disrespect Crystal Palace at all, because they're okay. Just the players on the FIFA Ultimate Team aren't all that brilliant, especially the players you can link to aren't great. So unless you have somebody like maybe Drogba, then you might find that a little tricky. So that was the bad points. Let's move on to the good points, and there is considerably more. Obviously, he's got great pace. He's got 5-star skills and great ball control, so you can do those kind of skill moves really quickly, and he just holds onto the ball really, really well. He's a good passer. It doesn't have the best passing. It's 72 on his face card, but his passing overall is decent, so I didn't find that too much of an issue. He's got great shooting. He's good at finesse shots. Even though he does tend to come back a lot, he does attack really well when he is up there. He's got 3-star weak foot, which is average, I guess. I'm not sure if it's too much of an issue this year in FIFA, because I know last year you needed, I think, 4-star. But he's got 3 stars, so I'm not sure if that's good or bad just yet, but it worked fine for me. I didn't have too much of an issue. He's 5'11", so he does win headers. So if that's part of your game, in trying to win headers and gain possession that way, he will do a job for you there. Even though I did mention he does get pushed off the ball quite easily, he does have good balance. So even if he is being kind of bullied and pressured on the ball, he will stay on his feet, and he will keep the ball. He's got good ball control, so great balance and great ball control kind of combined. He just kind of sticks to the ball really. And the last good point I've got, which I think is the most important, is he is currently 25,000 coins. He's 25,000 coins on Xbox and 27 on PlayStation. I think that's a bargain. For an 83 rated card, 90 pace, 75 shooting, 87 dribbling, 75 physical, 72 passing, he's obviously not the best player out there. You do have maybe slightly better players with better stats here and there, but for the price you're paying, you can't go wrong. He's incredible. For 25,000 coins, I think that's an absolute steal, and I would highly recommend him. Obviously the competition he's got is like Bergwijn, and I've chosen St. Maximin. Bergwijn's 14k, St. Maximin's like 65, 75,000 coins, so it's really ends of the spectrum. Zaha's very middle ground. He's better than Bergwijn, but he's not as pacey as St. Maximin, so it's really kind of up to you at that point. But yeah, I think for 25,000 coins, you can't go wrong at all. Now, in the way of the games, the first game was a little bit of a struggle. Each game I played, the opponents were tough. They were sweaty. They nobody was like a breeze to play. First game, he got a 7.7, 0 goals, 0 assists, but he did get 3 shots, 3 on target, and 23 passes completed out of 27 in total. So not terrible. Not terrible. He didn't get any goals, unfortunately. It was very tough to get past people. But 7.5 for the second game, with 1 goal, 0 assists, 3 shots and 3 on target, with 11 passes and 14 completed. So he is consistent with the passes and the shots, which I really, really do like. It's a big part of my game is passing the ball and not really taking crazy shots. So he fits that perfectly. Third game, he got so much better. It was 9.0 rating, 1 goal, 0 assists, 3 shots, 4 on target this time, but with 16 passes completed out of 18 in total, and he of course got himself the man of the match rating in that game. Fourth game, he completely blitzed it. He completely destroyed the opponent with a 10.0 rating, 5 goals, 0 assists, 7 shots, 10 on target, and 11 passes out of 15 completed. And of course, once again, get himself the man of the match rating. The last game we played was it was against a co-op opponent, and it was tough, really tough. But we destroyed them as per Zaha destroyed them. So he got himself an 8.3 rating, 2 goals, 0 assists again, 5 shots, 6 on target, and 13 out of 13 passes completed. Amazing, really is amazing. I did feel like I probably forced the ball a bit too much to him, because obviously the episode was focused around him, so I was trying to get goals maybe a little bit too hard. That's why he didn't get too many assists. But if you watch my Road to Glory series, you'll notice that he does contribute to a lot of assists. And if I can, I'll try and bring up maybe a screenshot of his actual record in my Road to Glory, so you'll kind of get an understanding of how many goals and assists he scores that way. But for today, he was incredible. I cannot complain at all. The games were tough, but he really did perform. I think if you're looking for somebody who's going to score goals after goals after goals, he may not be the option unless you're really forcing the ball to him. But he can do skills so quickly. It's so rapid and so smooth, and it's just so nice. Especially fake shots, they just kind of flow, and he just keeps going and just keeps the ball, and then you can just score goals. So it is easy with Zaha, but I think if you're looking for somebody who's going to be that guy to score goals, you want somebody maybe like I've got in my team, like Calvert-Lewin or somebody like that you can really get the ball to, and who will definitely score goals. But that's that really. I gave Zaha an involvement rating of 7 out of 10 just because he attacks, he scores goals. Well, when you force the ball to him, he is good at passing. He gets himself involved in the game a lot, even though on occasion he does come back on defence, especially with corners and stuff. He does seem to be kind of in no man's land a lot in those situations. So I think that kind of tips the balance a little bit on his rating. But with that said, he did get himself an average rating of 8.5, which is very high, to be fair. It's very close to the 9 rating. I think there's players that are probably going to beat him, but for today he is obviously at number 1 with the 8.5 rating. Yeah, I can't complain. I had so much fun with Zaha. I think, like I said, he's not going to be that guy to score all of your goals in the game. He definitely will provide assists and stuff, and if you can get the ball to him, get him in behind with maybe an LBY over the top or just a through ball, you can definitely score goals with this guy. I think if you're looking for an upgrade, if you've got a Premier League team or any kind of team really that involves Premier League players that you can get him in, and you're looking for a left wing upgrade, definitely go for this guy. Good price. He's got everything you could possibly want. I genuinely don't know how he's 25k with 90 pace. It's astonishing. So that's that. That is today's episode. I think obviously with the 8.5, I think it's very fair for Zaha. I think that's definitely where he sits. He's not up in the upper 9s at kind of god tier. He's not down in the 6s or the 7s with the lowly peasants. He's very good. So I think that's very fair. But that is today's episode. It's kind of a pilot episode. Just kind of see how things go. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a little bit more fun. It's a little bit more relaxed. Obviously, I can kind of get my opinion across more than maybe on the Road to Glory series. So hopefully you did enjoy. Hopefully you found it somewhat informational as well and entertaining. I do have loads of ideas for players I want to try and ideas for this series. So we'll see how those go. But I think it's gone on long enough for today. If you did enjoy, do please drop it a like. That'd be very much appreciated. If you want to see more of this content or any of the Road to Glory series content that I produce and other series ideas that I might have in the future, please do feel free to hit that subscribe button. But for today, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.